So the other day when I filled this fucker with oil, I had the wrong dipstick in it, so I put accidentally too much oil in it. I got my buddy live streaming chess, by the way. He's talking smack on chess players. But so I need to drain some oil out of this motherfucker and put the right dipstick in, which I got right here. Got the right dipstick, but check this shit out. See, that's the... Can you see that? The focus? There you go. Yeah, see the drain plug? It's not the right size bolt, and it's also just RTV'd in there. See that? It's just jello, fucking jello plugged in there. I scraped most of the RTV off of it already. And so when I take that out, I'm going to use the funnel and put it back in the thing because it's all fucking brand new oil. But I don't know how I'm going to get that fucking plug back in there, since it's just RTV'd and shoved in there. So I don't know. I might have to drain all the oil and then put that plug back in there with RTV, or try and find a bolt or some shit. I don't know. I assume that they RTV'd it because the fucking threads are stripped out to holy hell, which they should have just tapped a new fucking hole, but of course they didn't. Oh, maybe I'll tap a new hole. Drain it dry and tap a new hole. Well, I can't do that either because then there'll be metal shavings inside the oil pan. That's why they just RTV'd it. Well, I just need to get 2 practices and then I'll take the fucking oil pan off and actually do it right. But this time I'll probably just RTV it myself. All right, I'll let you know what I end up with. All right, so here's what I did. I pulled that fucking plug out of there, and it actually acted like it was threading. It wasn't just shoved in there. So I grabbed a funnel and I drained a shit ton of oil out into those cans because I'm going to, of course, keep it for later. And when I went to tighten this drain plug back in, you can see there's fucking RTV all over it now. I went to tighten it up, and it looked like I had high hopes, and then it started to snug up, and then immediately got looser. So it's definitely stripped. So then I backed it about halfway out, where it was still not leaking oil, but the plug was halfway out. And I squeezed a shit ton of RTV around the threads, and then kind of just snugged it up there, back in with the RTV around it, and kind of smoothed it around there. And so far it's not leaking. So we'll see after it dries, but there is definitely oil back there trying to get out. So we'll see. Check on it tomorrow, see if it's actually leaking. All I need is two practices out of this, so I don't really care if it leaks, as long as it's not just pouring out of there. So, and it's also storming like hell outside, and it's humid as fuck. Yeah. Humid as fuck. It's not hot, but humid as hell. Alright. I don't know what else I'm gonna do on this damn thing. Oh, I got the dipstick tube put in, the correct one, so I can actually, there's the oil fucking level is good now. I guess I could start putting on some front accessories and bullshit and get it ready to drop in the car. I suppose I could do that. Yeah, I might fuck with that. Yeah, I'll probably fuck around with that. I also got to take the headers off to get it in the car. That's not going to be fun. But, so yeah, there you go. So, I'm putting on some shit in the front, right? I get the alternator on. There's a couple bolts I had to buy. Or I'll stack a whole bunch of washers on them, which I didn't feel like doing. So I got that on, and this is not how the belt is supposed to be routed, turns out. Because then you need a goddamn water pump pulley, right? And so that would just bind the shit out of that belt. So that belt needs to go around this water pump pulley, right? But if you notice, there's no, it doesn't stick out at all, right? This is the water pump that came on the motor, and there's no little nubby for the fan to mount onto right there. And also, here's the power steering pump. I don't know if you can tell, but the belts are all over the place. Like as far as alignment goes, they're just all over the place. Things are in the middle of other things, and like it just none of it fucking works. So I'm thinking things might line up a little bit better if I were to put the original water pump on it. Okay, if you put this here on there, and it's got a nub sticks out to put this here bitch on, and then the fan goes on it. No problem. And I'm thinking the back spacing on this water pump might be a little bit different, because it's definitely built different. Hold on. All right. So they're definitely built different. All right. Looks like this one does stick out a little bit farther. Probably lines up the belts just fine. All right. Yeah, we're going to do that. So that's step 2. Step 2 of, I don't know. I think that's step 22 or something. So I went to, so I took off the water pump, right? Everything was good. And I'm an idiot. The only difference between these two is that one's made out of aluminum and that one's cast iron. So it didn't need as much reinforcing around the neck there. I looked at the height of them and they're both the same. They're the same height, except for, there we go. I measured and everything. But that one has a taller little nubby on it than that one does. That one has a short nubby, right? So it'll fit the pulleys better. And then I think I found what the issue is. That crank pulley, why nothing was lining up. I went and dug through some shit and I found this here crank pulley. And I think once we switch the crank pulley out, things will probably line up. So that's what I'm doing. I don't have water pump gaskets, so I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing and just RTV the shit out of these ports here and then stick the old water pump back on. No biggie. All right, so I got the smaller aluminum pulley on, lighter. Yeah, say smaller. Hold on one sec. See the difference in the size of that? All right, it's huge and heavy as fuck. So we got the little one on and got the water pump on, got everything back on, and it looks like they're definitely gonna line up better than they were before. Not perfect, but they'll actually work. So the alternator and water pump go on the inside row, power steering and water pump go on the outside out here. So should work. Well, hold on a minute. We'll bypass the water pump on the power steering one. That'll just go from the crank pulley to the power steering, and then this one will go like there. All right, gotta put the fan on and all that good stuff. All right, so I got the fan on, got the belts on tight, all that good shit, and I got to down here. I want to put on this other fuel pump. So I pulled off the old one, and it has this stupid fuel pump rod, which is fucking retarded on a small block Chevy. And I don't know, you just have to hold the rod up at the same time that you install the pump and shit, and there's a whole bunch of crap in the way, and it's like kind of a bitch. And I'm my back's hurting and I'm going to call it a day anyway. So fuck it. We'll do it some other time. All right. Cool. Later.